Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Pardon Our Picks, where perfection is a work in progress. I'm your host, Sam. Alongside me, as always, is the GM, Tarek. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing very well. We're on to week 2 of football. Had a good weekend. It's not bad. And what's even better, I'm the one in last place. Yay! Who's not here?
And me. Thank you.
King Football Jesus in last place.
To be fair, I am too.
Oh, you're still tied? I knew you were tied going into Monday. I didn't know who had what.
So still tied. He doesn't want to be rid of me, apparently.
Yeah. But you're not the king, so it's more demeaning for him.
Yeah. And of course, we have the QB guru, Jessica. How you doing tonight?
I am fantastic. My name was not mentioned because I'm actually in the lead.
So. She is in the lead. The
dang
Rams. That part. It's funny. I had the Rams. They lost in overtime. That would have flipped it.
Yeah, so that game was one of the there were so many games that either way, and that one was a last minute change for me. And once I saw with the tackle being out for the Rams, and then once I saw just how crazy Detroit thing, how excited everybody was, and I was like, all right, I can't go against that.
Yeah. Well, of course, we are brought to you by Aardvark Concepts Incorporated. More than just a sign shop, check them out in Westminster for all your sign and decal needs. As well as Into Deep, who is back. They have decided to make a resurgence, to make a comeback, and they've already played 2 shows. They got one more coming up October 18th at the Waterfront Bar in Fells Point. So check them out if you can. It is a Friday, so go ahead and check them out. It's a great show. Talking about a great show, of course, it was a great week 1. We had a couple of upsets. No, I don't think a lot of us picked the Patriots to beat the Bengals, and quite frankly, the Steelers actually played better than I thought they would, even with the Justin Fields in.
Are you saying they're better than you thought they were?
I'm saying no. I'm saying they surprised. So
there's a ghost behind you.
I see that. The ghost of shows past.
No.
Unfortunately, he has decided not to be on this year. Good night. Love you.
Get frustrated with me doing the ending.
Yeah, I think he was upset with that. But given the way things fell last week, of course, Russell Wilson was out last minute with a hamstring injury, if I'm not mistaken. Week 2, he's going to be back. Which one would you rather have if you're a Steelers fan? Russell Wilson or Justin Fields? And I throw it to Tarek.
That is a very good question. And I have a friend that's on the opposite side of the country that's going to be very interested in the answer to this question, being a Steelers fan. I don't know, honestly. So Russell Wilson, you're taking a gamble on. He did okay at the beginning of his career with Seahawks, slowly went downhill, didn't do a dang thing out in Colorado and Denver with the Broncos. Is this the right system for him? We've seen quarterbacks that go into a system and certain systems work for him and others don't. We haven't seen fully what he's capable of. I think I would go with Wilson just because I think he's more experienced, whether for good or ill, we'll see. But I would at least give him a full game to see what's up before switching to Fields.
So for me, I actually prefer Fields in this situation. I think we touched on it last week, but I do believe that Fields has a bit of untapped potential. I think lack of experience is his biggest drawback. He's also not as accurate as Russell Wilson. That's a clear difference between the two. But Fields gives them the opportunity to extend the play because of his legs. He's mobile. He's been sacked quite a bit just Wilson. They've both been 2 of the most sacked quarterbacks in the last couple of years. But Russell Wilson is older, so he's slowing down, and Justin Fields is 25 years old. He's still very mobile, extend the play, and I think the Steelers really need that. And with that, knowing that they're not really super defenders, they're not going to be, they're limited on their options. I feel like this is a solid time for Justin Fields to get in there and get comfortable and get better at what he's not good at. So I think Justin Fields is the better option, and having them get more comfortable with him, get his coaching up to par so that he can improve his accuracy. But even some of these stats online are, he gives them a better chance to get to the playoffs. And, I think long term he will likely to be their answer because he's younger.
You both make great points, but I would love to take the field. Not Fields, the field. Somebody other than these two. They both suck. They're terrible at this point in their careers. Justin Fields, mainly because of the system he used to be in, and now he's broken goods. It's the same thing that happened to David Carr when he was drafted by the Houston Texans back in 2002. New franchise. They drafted him. They thought he was going to be the guy. 72 sacks later in the first season, and he never panned out. He could have been a good player in a better system. Unfortunately, I think that's what happened to Fields. Now, Russell Wilson is on the downswing of his career. He was good in Seattle, but that was also a bit of the system, just like Tarek touched on. The system definitely worked in his favor. Problem becomes they're both on 1-year contracts right now. So they're trying to see what they can get out of each of these quarterbacks. And I believe when all is said and done, they're going to be drafting a new one at the during the draft next season, as they will probably be in the top 5 of draft picks. It's my prediction. That's how I feel. But right now, throw Fields in there, I guess. He's young. If you think he can, he's more likely to be able to take the punishment than Russell Wilson. And since Russell Wilson's on his way on a downward slope, he might catch lightning in a bottle with Fields. See how it goes. Now, speaking of seeing how it goes, let's take a look at seeing how last week went. And we have, of course, Jessica in the lead with Tarek in second place.
See, Tarek, that's good.
You know what I've
That's a
Start
good
off at
week.
a high point before I crash and burn.
You know what I've come to realize? We have done this enough years that every single one of us has won at least once.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I just feel like the 90s Cowboys.
Yeah.
I did it so many years ago that people don't remember and don't care.
And I'm like the Patriots. I'm always there.
That's State Farm.
Somebody laugh at me? Anyway,
I think that's just my kids from upstairs.
that was good timing. So let's get on to it. Our game of the week. Let's start with Tarek. Who did we pick up this week?
I have Colts and the Packers. So, I was telling Brady today, like with these games, we each have a system of what we do for how we pick the games. Mine is I try to get for who's kind of picked at 50-50. Try and get some of the matchups here. The matchups this week suck. Everyone is like 90% to 10% on like almost every single game. This is one of the better ones. I was looking at some of the stats. You got Anthony Richardson, and you got the Packers, who they're going with the backup quarterback. It's iffy here. You got a brand new-ish quarterback. He didn't have a whole lot of reps last year. You got a backup quarterback who's not great. The new systems, it's very, very iffy here. I don't have all the stats that my colleagues here will help me produce. Both teams lost last week, and not bad. 29-27 for the Colts against the Texans, and you got 29-34 Packers lost to the Eagles. So it's not by large margins. Packers lost by a little bit more. Probably going with that backup quarterback. Double checking who I picked here, just so I don't get called out. So I got Indy. That's who I thought I got. So I'm going with the Colts. I think Richardson and some of those weapons. Let's see who we got. Alex Pierce got a touchdown. So I thought I saw my name. That's someone else. So I'm going with the Colts. I don't see it's going to be a lot. I don't think this is going to be a great game to watch. I think it's going to be a struggle for both of them. But I think Colts are going to edge it out.
So I actually am agreeing with the in this one. So I think Richardson really showed off his arm last week. We didn't see a whole lot of him last year. He was brand new to the league and injured for a lot of it. But we got some fun backups there. This is a rare time for them to go to Lambeau, and normally, you usually Bay at that field at home. And Jordan Love, I'm a fan of his, but he's hurt, so that really shifts things. If he hadn't gotten hurt, it would be a lot closer of a game, and I may have waffled a little bit on who I'd be picking. I'm going with Indy on this one. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch, actually, and I think maybe 23-17-ish.
This game, you got Richardson, quarterback in the Colts, and you have Malik Willis, I believe, is the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. They picked him up in a trade with Tennessee just before the season started, so he hasn't had a lot of time with Green Bay. Jordan Love got hurt late in the game last week, so we didn't really get a chance to see how he gelled with the team at all. So, given all that information, Green Bay's got has a good running back. Has a good running game right now. Part of what they did last week against the Eagles. Anthony Richardson runs the ball just as well as he throws it right now, which is good for both, actually. They did lose 2 points to a good team, Houston, very good team. So I got Indianapolis in this one. I don't think it's going to be close. I think Indy puts it over the 30-burger, and Green Bay, I think they struggle to get 16 points in this one. So, all right, let's move on.
We're not testing this based on how good our score prediction is.
No, Price is Right rules or. I actually hate that in the pick'ems. By the way, I hate adding that in the pick'ems.
Well, we don't do that in ours. They only do that in some.
Yeah.
It's a good tiebreaker, though.
If we pick score, if this was based on score, I don't think I'd play anymore. I'm not good at that.
No worries. We don't do that here. We don't need to.
We don't do that here.
Right. Now, let's get on to the next game of the week. We have Jessica, and what have you drawn up for us this week?
So this week I have the Buffalo Bills versus Miami Dolphins, and it's in Miami, Thursday night game. So I was actually a little bit surprised to see Miami struggle as much as I think they did in the beginning of the game this week. Buffalo as well. I kind of expected Buffalo to take time to get their footing because they've lost so many key players. But, I was talking to Brady and I looked away from that game for a little while, looked back. I mean, it was a brief period, and I was like, wait a minute. Buffalo scored 30 points just now. So, the typical Josh Allen, doing his hero ball that is dangerous, but it does score them points. I don't think he can keep doing that year after year, but they need to find a better solution. I think their defense kind of fell apart a little bit too. And I think struggled for a while to get going as well. If you have two model and all on your team like I do, it was an anxious game. But I am going here. I do think that it's. I know Josh Allen has an incredible against Miami. It's 11-2 or something. It's something crazy. But it's in Miami. I think this is for them to come back, and offensively, they're showing that they can get into gear when they need to. Buffalo is going to struggle here. They struggled in their home opener, so I'm actually not sure. This on the road Thursday night game, short week. I think they're going to more than Miami will.
I'm going to copy Jess and say I agree with her. I think Miami is going to do this. Josh Allen didn't look his best, in my opinion. Miami is one of my picks short list. We didn't talk about this. They're one of my picks to see who goes to the Super Bowl. We'll see what they do. You got Tua and all that. So there's not really I can say other than what Justice said, but I'm agreeing going with Miami.
You
Yeah,
think
and
you think that hand injury to Josh Allen is going to slow him down?
did he get a hand injury? I
They
did
had
not.
to they had to X-ray him, see if he'd be cleared to play this week. He has been cleared, so
Well,
Which
then
hand?
yes.
I mean, it's definitely going to affect him. What hand is it? Is it a stone hand?
I would assume it was throwing hand if they were thinking about not letting him
Concerned
play.
about it. Yeah, and my biggest thing with them was their pass was the part of their defense that really struggled, and the pass game for Miami is worst. I mean, Tua is not an overly mobile quarterback, right? So, but he's got two amazing wide receivers. He's got options, so they're going to struggle there to defend that. It's going to be a high scoring game, I think.
I don't think this one's going to be as high scoring as everybody thinks it is. I think Buffalo struggles mightily against this Miami team, who only scored 20 points, by the way, against the Jaguars last week. I think
Jaguars look good.
Miami's offense does get it going. No, Jacksonville's offense looked terrible last week. They did not look good.
I thought they looked better than I expected them to. But
Let's put it this way. There was only 2 quarterbacks, I think, last week that threw for more than 300 yards. A lot of them threw in the 250 range and less. A lot less.
Well, that's why, like, I was watching ESPN NFL, and everybody's fantasy week 1 sucked.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason. Like, a lot of QBs did not do well.
Yeah.
So
They need time to ramp it up, but I think Miami, with their dual threat at running back, hopefully Achane and Mossert actually play this week. They are questionable at this point. James Conner is the running back for Buffalo. He's
nope.
Yeah.
No, Arizona.
No, he's in Buffalo. If you would like to look that up while I'm talking. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. Who are we talking about?
Okay, you're 100% wrong. I love James Conner. He's always on my fantasy team and fantasy team this year. He's on Arizona.
So who is in Buffalo?
Okay. Hold on.
Bills running back. James Cook.
Yeah.
Cook.
And was he the one that got hurt, or was it Cooks that got hurt?
I don't know.
It might have been.
Either way, I don't think he's gelled enough with the team. They did pick him up last year in a trade. He hasn't really shown too much yet. He should be better as the year progresses, but with Josh Allen's hand injury, the fact that he's missing receivers, and Miami's offense is going to be fairly explosive this year. I think Miami wins this one. I think they put up 38 points. I think Buffalo gets to 20. So it's going to be fun for Miami fans.
I'm trying to think. Did Buffalo have a really good road record or a really bad road record last year?
Last year?
Yeah.
I think they were about even.
I thought they were one of those outliers. Yeah, they were 4 on the road and 23. Okay.
Yeah. All right. And now we jump to my game of the week. As you can see, we are missing somebody. We hope they feel better. Brady, come back to us when you can. We'll see you when you get back. And my game of the week is the Bengals against the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, the Bengals struggled last week with Jamar Chase missing time due to contract disputes. He did decide to play, but they didn't target him as much as they could. T. Higgins was held out as well. I don't see that being the case this week. Now, Kansas City with Xavier, whatever his name is, that rookie coming in and just absolutely blowing it up.
Worthy?
Xavier Worthy. That dude was catching
Worthy? Oh, my gosh.
Was catching balls everywhere. A man had over 100 yards receiving. First game in as a rookie. That dude on that team, he's going to be something special. Patrick Mahomes now has a receiving threat to throw the ball to. He hasn't had that since Tyreek Hill. So we'll see how that goes for them. I feel like it's going to be an absolute boon for them. I feel like this is going to be the highest scoring game of the week. Joe Mixon, not on this team anymore, so we don't have to worry about him. And I see Kansas City winning this one. And they may put up 40 points against the Bengals. But the Bengals are going to be right behind them. So Kansas City for the win.
Yeah, sadly, I'm gonna agree here. I would love to see the Bengals back at least a little bit from last week. I don't feel like Kansas City Chiefs fairly won the game. Their game one, however, was really fun to watch. He's a fast dude, so yeah, he gets a threat. And then there's Pacheco, who's an amazing running back. I mean, but he wasn't doing as good. The Bengals running back Zach Moss, 4.9 yards, whereas Pacheco was around 3 or something. But I don't think the Bengals are going to have an answer for both sides, honestly, but mainly their multiple offensive weapons. They're throwing or running the ball, and that's going to be a real struggle. I don't think they'll look as bad as they did this week, though. Prepare a little bit better, but nobody expected the Patriots to do that to them, or them to do that themselves.
Yeah. After what Joe Burrow did to my fantasy league, I really can't vote for him this week. And you're going up against Patrick Mahomes, which, as much as I hate dynasties and as a Broncos fan, I hate the Chiefs. I have to vote for him here. I have to. It's not even a contest. I think they're going to just wipe the floor with the Bengals until they figure out what happened last week and get their act together. So, yeah, I'm going with Kansas City here.
To be fair, there was one dynasty that I really did enjoy.
Yeah.
Cowboys.
That was so long ago.
It was. Shows how old I
think
am.
we talked about that. this
So, let's get into our pop panel pick'ems and quick picks. And it's looking like clean slates most of the way through here.
Mm-hmm.
However, Jessica with a surprising Tennessee pick.
Oh yeah, so I think Tennessee's a really physical team. They always have been, and I'm gonna need to take some time to get any kind of buy-in there.
I don't know. I think the Jets bounced back this week.
Also Seahawks and Patriots.
Oh yeah.
Seahawks had a lot of difficult. That one could change, but I have very little faith in the Patriots. However, the Seahawks had a ton of problems with protecting Geno Smith, and I believe one of their tackles is out and injured, got in something, and so he's going to have even more trouble. And defensively, the Patriots execute really well somehow.
To be fair, I almost picked the Patriots simply because Seattle does not travel to the East Coast well.
Oh, and I didn't realize it was actually okay.
Yeah. All right, next set. I'm the only one that believes in the Browns. And Jessica's the only one that believes in the Arizona Cardinals.
Well, I think she just explained that about James Conner.
She did. She loves that man.
I do. That's all reliable for me. But the Rams didn't look great.
And then, of course, a split, surprisingly, on the Denver game.
I don't think it's that surprising.
I feel like Bo Nix actually puts it together this week. Has a good week.
I agree. I was back and forth on who I was going to pick there. I think he looked good. But are they gonna? Is this going to be when they look more solid, or the Steelers going to do what they always do and somehow win the game?
Yeah, that's good. That one's going to be interesting because you got Russell Wilson supposed to be playing, going back to Denver, so that should be something. And then you got Bo Nix trying to recover from 2 interceptions and a loss.
If Russell Wilson plays, I will probably switch.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it this way either way. The Steelers are hot garbage this year.
Ooh.
Just see, even Jessica thinks they stink.
I have a fruit or something.
All right.
All right, that wraps us up for week 2. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoy. Comment down below. Let us know who you think is right, who you think is wrong. Let us know your games of the week. There's a cat.
It's my little
comment
panther.
down, hoping Brady feels better. Make sure you click like, click subscribe so you know when we drop our next video. I'm trying to keep the schedule somewhat consistent this year. We'll see what happens. But tune in next week. And as always, I'm Tarek.
I'm Jessica.
I'm Sam, and this is a cat butt. And you have a great football week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.